The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host. And as always at this time, we come to you.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have today? Well, a little bit of everything. The predicted end of the world did not come this morning, as I heard many blowhards. All right, let me put it that way. I read about many blowhards talking about numbers is in excess of 1,000 points lower today because of a Goldman Sachs once employee leaving the U.S. government. We got, what, 330 million people? One person, the entire wheel's going to fall off the country? Don't think so. But, of course, the question is, does it really matter? And then, of course, we get to the options, options expiration, which we'll talk about today. But then we get to, is there really a trade war? And is this actually just masking, or this discussion masking, a bigger issue with China? That is that they have a dictator for life. And the history of dictators has been that they kind of start wars. Kind of the reason they became dictators to begin with. How many dictators you know that didn't try to at least start a war or trouble somewhere else in the world? I'm going to say that the batting average is fairly good on that. So we've got somebody who's president, commander-in-chief, who's decided that it is more important to have the ability to make steel and aluminum in the United States in case we get into war. At least that's what I'm getting from his speech in Dallas. Was it last month already? I think it was in Dallas last month. And also in Davos. It was kind of tough to see, but again, the negotiator-in-chief also doesn't like people knowing what he's up to all the time. Certainly doesn't run around telling everybody his strategy in advance. You know, by the way, we're pulling out of country X in 2 years. So if you're a terrorist, just hang around for 2 years. We'll be gone. Just quiet off, and then you can take over the country as soon as we leave. Well, not that kind of president. He fires off in every direction, and while everybody's ducking for cover, he tries to make his deal. My guess is that's what's happening now, and the market's going to have to live with the idea that they don't know it all. I don't know what he knows from the CIA, other folks. But my guess, it's just been history that when you see a major country get a dictator, and one of their plans is to make sure that you have no ability to make steel or aluminum by driving all your companies out of business. And, of course, the ability to wage war depends on the ability for those metals. That's probably a pretty good indication that you better have the ability to make steel and make aluminum. So at the moment, I think the market's digesting this fairly well. For those people that are students of history, probably figuring out that, you know what, Japan got in the war because we cut them off of, guess what, iron. At least that's a great piece of the reason that they decided to attack us. They were afraid that our ability to impose our will in that area of the world. But one thing about history is you got to live through it to look back at it. A lot of people think that they use 2020 vision. I don't know for sure. But to tell you the truth, I'll sleep a little better knowing that we at least have somewhere where we can make metal here in the United States. So you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. Or, of course, you can post a message in the den. So anyway, that's kind of going on right now. The S&P's been bouncing around from about 2,700 to, what was it, about 27, something like that, 2020, yeah, 27, 28, something like that thing. So we're just down about 11 or 12 points, just now reacting to the beige book out from the Fed. I don't know if that really had a lot in it. I breezed through it before the show started. Dow's off 243, but that's a rounding error these days. NASDAQ's up 2. The Russell is the strongest of all, and that can kind of give you a clue about what the market is reacting to, as the Russell 2000 has the least amount of people that both import and export from the nation. So if it is an indication of a fear of a coming trade war, you can kind of gauge how much better the Russell 2000 does than the other indexes over the next few days. But my guess is this will be like every other hysterical issue that the cable TV news weasels have brought up, which is it'll be forgotten in a week. In fact, what we were talking about 4 weeks ago, well, it was the end of all computers. We go from one crisis to another, and seemingly nobody really checks back on the batting average of those folks. But we'll think about it a little bit. Yes, I know there's nothing worse than a rational investment plan in an irrational world, but who knows? Anyway, we'll see what happens. Today is options expiration day, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. First, we got to get our history out of the way, and we'll talk about Weird Wallenchuck Wednesday.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
A 29-year-old Alexander Graham Bell in 1876 on this day receives a patent for his revolutionary new invention, the telephone. The Scottish-born Bell worked in London for his father, Melville Bell, who developed Visible Speech, a written system used to teach speaking to the deaf. In the 1870s, the Bells moved to Boston, Massachusetts, where the younger Bell found work as a teacher in the Pemberton Avenue School for the Deaf. He later married one of his students, Mabel Hubbard. I guess she became Mabel Bell, but who knows? Of course, I don't know if it's true, but supposedly he got in there, what, an hour or two before somebody else in filing for his patent? Hard to remember exactly where all these things fall out, but a lot of discussion about that. A lot of people were working on these. Of course, he got his patent, and history is written by those who are the victors, as always. When we come back, we're going to be talking about Weird Wally Wednesday, otherwise known as Weird Wallenchuck Wednesday, what that actually means to you as a trader. We'll be back after the short time out.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
We have Stephen in Connecticut calling about A, and Victor first. Victor from Massachusetts. How are you doing today?
David, I talked to you quite some time back when you were filling in for Tom O'Brien on his show about the stock Micron. And at that time you advised me that if the stock crosses 36, I should hold. So I'm still holding the stock, and the stock is now close to 54.
Yep.
So what do you advise? Because I had the stock for a long time. I rode it down all the way to $10.
Okay.
So what do you advise, or what do you see at this time happening with this company?
Well, you certainly don't have any sell signals. I'd probably put a stop in around $45.
Okay.
And if it stops you out, be that way, and just kind of put a trailing stop at about $10 behind the thing. And if you see some kind of signal that says sell, do it. But I don't see any reason to. I mean, there's nothing in the chart here that says sell. You got a nice breakout with volume. And I think that's about everything you can say about this thing right here. Is it still looks good. You know, that.
What do you see on the upside? Because I bought some shares back in 2000 for $85.
Depends on how long you're talking about. You're talking about the next 2 years?
Yeah, next 6 months.
Next 6 months, this thing could just go sideways around $50. They've got some new technology for memory coming out probably this fall. And that's going to be the next impedance. If they can get that rollout of the new memory done, then maybe in a couple of years it's a $100 stock.
I see. So you don't see much on the near term.
It's pretty fairly valued right now. But that doesn't mean it can't go higher. I mean, people buying Netflix and its PE is what, 100 to 1 or something?
Yes.
This one's actually making money. But again, for semi, kind of fairly valued right now. You kind of need them to start shipping some new product that actually ups the margins and all that. But that's not going to happen for probably another 6 months. So could it just kind of bounce around in this area? It could. Do I see huge upside? Maybe the market goes to some kind of blow-off top, and people are desperate to get into anything. I'm seeing a lot of risky gambling-type behavior in some stocks that I actually like, but, pretty fairly valued, kind of interesting. Technology, long-term, still looks good. No sell signal. So, it just depends on how long you want to hold the thing. But I just put a trailing stop on it, like about $10. If the worst happened and you had to sell it at 45, would you be happy?
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's better than going to 30, because this is a very volatile stock.
I wouldn't write it back down. But unless something drastically changes, like a close below 49.89, which would be fairly bearish if it did it for more than a couple of days, that's why I'm thinking about 45. But it looks good now. I don't see anything else. Thanks for the call. Let's try to get
to. Thank you very much. Take care.
Let's go to Stephen in Connecticut if he's still there.
Oh, we just got some more snow. This is Steve from Connecticut, and it looks beautiful out for once. But if you like snow, I'm calling about AMD. What really piqued my interest in AMD is the Ryzen chipset that's coming out in April, and basically how it's been positioning itself against Intel. I remember when they released the first Ryzen chipset. It really didn't with gaming, didn't live up to what it really wanted to live up to. Yeah. But when you look at it, I mean, I think the new Threadripper and the other stuff, that I really see some upside here. And I saw a little tilt of the hand today with a little volume. I got in a couple days ago, and then today it just shot up out of nowhere. But I'm just wondering, what's your feeling on AMD?
It's hard to beat a monopoly, and Intel is kind of a monopoly. They took away their genius in video card development. Intel did. So they've kind of lost that part of their business, at least the best guy in the business for AMD. I don't know if anybody at NVIDIA is better, but certainly, being able to do that by Intel is a huge deal, both for NVIDIA and AMD in the future. Because most of the profits for these guys don't come in AMD by the processors. Most of their weighted income is from the video card part of the market. So
yeah, just like NVIDIA, especially with the Bitcoin mining, the NVIDIA has really taken off. And I'm just curious.
Really, the sales. I don't know who keeps repeating that. NVIDIA says it's not true. Intel says, or NVIDIA says that, and even AMD says that it's like less than 5% of their profits.
Yeah, you go in there and you try to order a top-end video card that's in the Bitcoin mining. It's going to be double the price, and you're going to be waiting 2 months to get it. And that's just
but I think there's a different reason. I think you're putting correlation without causation. To me, that market is all about the cloud market buying those cards as fast as they can, hand over fist. I don't think it's. I'm not buying it that it's the Bitcoin market. But
as far as AMD long term, let's say you're looking at 6 months out, you're looking at a year out.
This is one of these companies that I think they got a short reprieve off that. They were down $2.50. They kind of got lucky. The big future in this business is not Bitcoin mining, but machine learning, in my opinion. And AMD doesn't have anything in that. Now, if they would come out with something like a library like NVIDIA does, then I think that would be dramatically different and open up. I don't know why they haven't yet, which is kind of interesting. It would seem to me like, you know, if NVIDIA can do it, then AMD can do it. It seems to me they've dropped the ball on this a great deal. Don't think the new chips have been very competitive. I'm not a big AMD fan other than the fact that they do make a less expensive processor for budget PCs. And the loss of their big GPU guy also makes me think that these guys have issues. So maybe you can tell me something else about some new product. The Ryzens don't do much for me. Everybody's still looking at NVIDIA as the card to get if they're doing gaming or doing machine learning. And I to some point of this, there's the whole beauty contest part of this, which a lot of the big guys think that they can trust NVIDIA more. So AMD may have better prospects for earnings, but still is kind of looked at the redheaded stepchild. We'll be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. Is Stephen from Connecticut still on the line? Guess not. Okay, so didn't have enough time to get everything through. AMD, huge move off the 250 low, but I don't know. It seems like it's trapped in this level. Man, it's asking a lot to go up against a monolith, both in Intel and NVIDIA, where it is second to both of them. So certainly not a best of breed. And I would be, I think the place to buy it was down there at 250. The place to get out of it was 15, and that's it. Did I buy MU? No, I did not buy MU. I owned it a long time ago at I think I bought it at 965. Sold it out way too early, but man, the market, we made some good money on it. The market looked horrible at the time, so I took the money and ran. So positive trade on MU, but should have held it a lot longer. I'll always be one of those ones that got away, but I'm not big on chasing stocks up when everybody goes nutty. Let's talk about some other stuff going on. And like I said, I wanted to talk about a Wallencheck Wednesday. So let's get into that. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. But today is Weird Wallencheck Wednesday. Some people call it Weird Wally Wednesday. I've heard that since 1999. There's a guy named Don Wallencheck who was, I guess it's hard to tell whether he was a good market timer or not. He got kicked out of Timers Digest by the guy that ran it because apparently he was kind of playing fast and loose with trades and what he did and what he didn't, and at least if you believe the Timers Digest guy. And so he's got a bunch of Timers Digest stuff in the late 1990s. Nothing since then, and I don't know if he's even active anymore. Don't hear much about him. But he had talked to somebody in the options floor of the CBOE at one time in the 90s and found out that basically option market makers all kind of do the same thing because the math works out. And that is the Wednesday before, the week before expiration, i.e. today for the monthlies, because back then they didn't have weeklies, would set up and try to go delta neutral for expiration. So what you would do for that is you got 7 days left, very little premium in the options. So that means you've got a lot of risk as an option market maker. So what do you want to do? You want to take the opposite side of that trade that's still left out there. We'll say you've got 177.50 puts or 177.50 calls on Apple, and maybe 172 puts, 172.50 puts on Apple. You are hoping that the thing just closes out at 175, and both of those positions go unexercised. And what you do a lot of times is you'll take either the equity part of it, either go long or short the equity. Sometimes you'll get together and go out to where the options premium is decaying the least, maybe 45 days out in another one, maybe at the same strikes. There's lots of different ways that you can set this up. But the whole idea is that you set it up so that, let's say you have 250 in premium, or I think that's probably close to what options are on like the 175s right now for Apple. I bet if you look them up, they're probably $2, $2.50, somewhere in that range with 7 days to go. Let's say that you have 175s because that'll make it easy. Apple's trading around 175. You got $2 in premium. You don't want this thing to really go anywhere, but it might. So you take the opposite side of your put position. So that the worst thing that could happen is that $2 in premium that at one time when you wrote those options was $7.50 in premium, you're going to lock in the fact that you're going to make at least $5. And you do that by synthetic positioning, i.e. going long, short the stock, and longer term options that don't decay as quickly. And delta neutral basically gets to the point where you want to make sure that if the stock moves $1, that maybe the most you lose is 50 cents or 25 cents, or maybe nothing, depending on the way you set it up. In fact, a lot of times that's what it is. So on Wednesdays, the week before expiration, I don't put a great deal into the way that the stocks move during the day. Normally by around this time, though, this gets sorted out. But all through the day, you've got people buying and selling equities and buying and selling options. And pretty much till the end of the day, it's very tough to figure out exactly what these guys did. But it will tell you which way they intend to either hope the market goes, or maybe they'll do a little bit more than hope, and they'll push the market. And that's why you start seeing things like today. I saw it a little earlier, NFLX. It was down, yeah, it's still down a little bit. It actually opened lower when most of its peers pretty much opened flat from yesterday's close because of Stifel Nicolaus's downgrade on the stock. And somehow they figured out that the stock has a 100 PE. Well, at 190 it had a 100 PE. At 50 it had a 100 PE. At 40 it had a 100 PE. So the question is, are you willing to pay, if you're a fundamentalist, willing to pay 100? But nothing has changed in this. One day, eventually, that PE will come back to some kind of reality. Do I see anything in here that says that it's not? And that's where you start seeing these kind of rather self-fulfilling prophecies by people upgrading and downgrading. I found a survey at one time, I think it was in Stocks and Commodities, about the amount of upgrades and downgrades between options expiration and the day that they go delta neutral. And there were almost twice as many upgrades and downgrades during the 7 trading days as there were in the entire month. They basically were doubled in that time frame, which gives me a little indication that there's more than a little statistical inference that these upgrades and downgrades don't mean a whole lot, especially if you look back historically. 95% of all stocks before the market fell apart in late 2007 and 8 were on buys. So analysts were pretty much as wrong as you could get going into the devastation of 2008. So there's nothing new out there. I don't know if anybody really pays any attention to them. I mean, when's the last time you really saw somebody on TV that wasn't a hopeless skunk or a shill like Kramer talk about what analysts really thought about stocks? Kind of like economists, almost always wrong. So I don't know why you would pay attention to them. But today is that day when delta neutral happens. We'll talk more about this when we come back.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks! Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Anyway, let's go ahead and check the mail. I didn't, I got that. Oh, I love the emails. Okay, says Oddball or the Love Boat guy is looking at LPL. Looking for a quick bounce the next few days. And yeah, if anybody would just come out with a positive word. I'm done with the negative waves. Okay, LG display, and I got to sneeze. Okay, so let's see here. LG display got back into this gap, which is actually support. You got what for volume today? 1.2 million shares. You know, if this would have come in for LG display, I think this is it, LPL, then you would probably want to have seen 500,000 shares to get an instant bounce. My theory has been a few things. If off the top it comes down with more energy than it went up with, which this did, if it tests the previous low with more volume than it did, the best you can hope for is a consolidation than a bounce. If you want an instant bounce for a few days, you want to find some stocks that just tested previous lows on extremely lighter volume. I think we did a few of those yesterday. So we'll continue to keep an eye. And I got a sneeze. Yes, I had a sneeze. It brought me to my knees. Okay. So yeah, I can't say that this thing's going to do anything more than base out at this. I hope this is the right stock. It looks like it is. Font is tiny for some reason in this email. So I'm more the oddball loving guy. I wasn't much of a love boat guy. POTN, looking for an entry point. POTN. Hang on a second. Potential holdings. Huh. What does these guys do? Let's check this thing out real quick. Okay. Potential Networks Holdings focuses on research, development, and marketing of hemp extracts. Cannabinoids. Okay. So the one legal company in all this has not been doing too well. Is that in my list? I think it is. We talked about it the other day. I think I did. So anyway, the one legal company, GWPH, yeah, we'll look at it in a minute. You know, for a chart, it doesn't look bad. You came down with huge volume off the January 26 high. This is a penny stock, by the way, POTN. Came down with my power law vector number of 48, went up on 28 on a 50% bounce, then it's come back down on 20. This last leg out here is kind of what I look at, which is, you know, if this thing gets to be about half of the energy on the way down of the previous, you're pretty good. You've also got, 36 million shares to 25 million shares. So, I mean, the buy on this thing is probably 35 cents. Maybe you'll get lucky. It's down on light volume today. But yeah, I'd look at this thing probably at about 35 cents with a stop below about 28 cents if it closed below it. Putting a hard stop in a stock like this is probably insanity. But let's take a look at GWPH, because that had been doing not well, let's put it that way. Let's see if it's doing any better. You got the bounce. We talked about this earlier in the week. This is the one I did kind of like, other than the fact the energy was way too much on the way down. I think a lot of these pot stocks do look this way, which is they came down on high volume, which suggests that even though they tested the previous lows on lighter volume, they're going to consolidate a bit before they go back up. Normally, you just don't get a V bottom when the energy on the way down was more, even if the volume on the test was low. You normally get a consolidation of some level. So this one did bounce a little bit today. There's some energy in it. I think we talked about this one potentially going to 122 or 123. But again, you know, you're going to be into this big candle in no time at all, kind of like just all the other ones you're looking at. So, that's it. You never know. Okay. Hemp extracts. Okay. So that's it. Do we have any more? That's about it. Let's start looking at some of the other ones out there. We looked at NVIDIA. In fact, I wanted to look at a couple from yesterday. I think it was that, wasn't it? Yeah. Akamai. We'll see how this one's doing. Best keep an eye on the market. Now down 10 points on the S&P. Cash Dow's down 178. NASDAQ's up 6. Russell's up 7. So Russell's continued to be fairly strong throughout the rest of the day. Okay, Akamai's still up here testing previous highs. $70 January 9th. $69.56. 4.5 million shares. Yesterday you had 1 million shares as you spiked through it. Today you got 1.3 million shares. So it's trying to claw through this high and this gap. Let's look a little farther back on Akamai. Let's see whether this thing's got anything here. Okay, so this is going back to this gap down. That gap down came on 16 million shares on the 8th of February of last year. Man, you're just getting into the part, and of course, the stock was even higher a long time ago. Let's go back to even longer time frames and look at it. You know, energy was fairly good off this August 21st low. They've kind of rebranded themselves into computer software, security software, more than just being a cloud provider, and that's done a lot for them. Let's take a look at HACK, which is the ETF for security software. This is the strongest sector in all the markets right now. It has broken out above the June 22nd, 2015 high for this ETF. There's a lot of stocks in this that aren't traditionally thought of as security stocks. which is kind of interesting. But $35.51 and a pretty nice move again today on some volume in HACK. Still the strongest sector up there. You got plenty of time to give me a call, 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. Put a message in the
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
You don't buy into that nonsense, do you? You know you can't time the markets. I didn't. And in 2006, I set out on a mission to do just that. I began by surrounding myself with the greats like Tom O'Brien, Larry Pesavento, David White, and Basil Chapman. I read countless books and even looked to the moon and planets for answers. Now, we both know that trading is 80% mental, so I learned the exact tools that Tony Robbins uses to overcome fear. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability. And last March, the folks at Timers Digest began tracking my newsletter signals, which through January 18, 2018, placed me as the #1 gold timer for that exact time frame. Now, I can't officially be recognized until Timers Digest has a full year of signals, but clearly I've learned how to time the markets, and I'd like to teach you how to do that as well. Subscribers to Mastering Probability gain access to my live and archive workshops where I show you the exact same patterns that earned me this #1 ranking. If you're looking for great market calls and an education, sign up for Mastering Probability today at TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're back. And of course, just a little housekeeping here. Tomorrow, Andy Heck has to go catch a plane, so he's going to switch times with me. So he will be here at 2, and I will be at the 5 o'clock hour. And of course, tonight I'll be working on those options. So, well, probably a good time to check out my daily newsletter on the front page of TFNN, because I'll go through all of those tonight and give my call on it. Or maybe you want to check out the Tiger's Den, always a good thing to do. We have lots of fun. We try to have good arguments and not be argumentative. And just a lot of fun. But anyway, I think that's it for that. Just going to be flip hours tomorrow. Of course, we're off about 12 points. I don't see anything really developing right now. It means that I'm going to have to go into those options tonight. Maybe I'll catch something before the end of the day and get something clearer. All the options look fairly lower and still have. Nothing really changed yesterday. It all looked like about 26.80. I was hoping to get that kind of giant pullback today to 26.80 to get long. I thought it was going to be a gift. We never really got it. Now, somebody in the den has posted that we'll get those tariffs inked tomorrow by noon, and that may give us a much better idea. Normally, the unknown is worse than the known, and that might be enough to settle the stomachs of the nervous and crybabies that are certain the end of the world is about to happen any minute. As one smart guy once told me, you don't bet on the end of the world because guess what? You'll only be right once, and there won't be anybody to pay off on the other side. Wise words. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow at 5 o'clock, not 2 o'clock. Same bat channel, not the same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com.